So in this video, I'm going to give you a couple of tactics and ideas and techniques on how I manage to fall asleep on average in just 11 minutes. And that's data from over 300 nights of sleep. Anyone who has been around me whilst I fall asleep has usually been jealous. And I'm not going to give you the same basic advice that I see YouTubers give, like, oh, make a rule, no screens 1 hour before bed, because it's just, although the advice is good, it's just too generic. And I honestly use my screens, my phone and my computer till the minute that I go to bed. So straight away, rule number one, technique one, is use the screens but put on the blue light filter. So this makes the screen go really red and orange. Put it on to the max around a few hours before you go to sleep. So for me, I turn mine on around 6 to 7 p.m. and I put it on max. Some people say that, oh, it's annoying, they don't want their screen to look like that, but then you're literally just messing up your sleep to not do that. So just use that feature. It's on most phones, it's on iPhones, it's on MacBooks, it's on even Windows PCs. And so with this blue light filter, this nighttime filter, you can still use your screens before you go to bed. And I know for a lot of people, that is almost a requirement to sleep. All right, secondly, no one is sleeping long enough. People who are sure that they're sleeping for 8 hours are incorrect. Now, let me ask you a question. You want to wake up at 6 a.m. and you want 8 hours of sleep. What time do you go to bed? It's simple maths. Everyone will say 10 p.m. Everyone is wrong. The correct answer is around 9, maybe even 7:30. No one said they want 8 hours of lying down, of bedtime. No, it's 8 hours of sleep. And even me, even someone who considers themselves to be like an expert sleeper, it takes me 11 minutes on average to fall asleep. So technically, I would need to go to bed at 9:49, not 10 p.m. And even then, that is assuming that I hit my perfect average sleeping time and then don't even wake up for a single second during the night, which is obviously still unrealistic. So I want to wake up at 6:30. 6:30 a.m. is my daily wake up time. What time do I go to sleep? I want 8 hours. 10:30? No, 9:30. 9:30, I'm in bed. And I've even just changed this last night. I have made this even more drastic. I am now waking up at 7 a.m. and I'm going to get into bed at 9 p.m. That's 10 hours I'm dedicating to sleep. And I just checked my data and I'll show you as well. Even though I set aside 10 hours for this, I was only asleep for 8 hours and 20 minutes. Just think about that. I set aside 10 hours for bedtime and I was only asleep for 8 hours and 20 or something close to that level. That makes you wonder, all of the people who are setting aside 8 hours, how little sleep are they actually getting? My guess would be about 6.5 hours. Because I think most people toss and turn and go on their phone even in bed. So even though they're in bed at 10 p.m, they haven't stopped scrolling on their phone till 10:30, 11. Setting aside a longer time for your sleep block is probably one of the best little techniques that you can take away. You want 8 hours, so set aside 9 to 10. And finally, if you're an active person, which you should be. If you're watching my videos on self-improvement, then you must be an active person. I cannot emphasize the importance of exercise enough. Every single day you can do a form of exercise. If you've been doing incredible amounts of strenuous exercise, then yeah, 1 day off a week is pretty good. But other than that, you can do a form of exercise every single day. You want to sleep better, you need to be tired when you go to sleep. The amount of people who tell me that they're not tired when they go to sleep, but they're tired when they wake up, like that's normal now. That like normal people wake up and they still feel tired and they go to bed feeling like wide awake and they don't want to go to sleep yet. That's normal. Take a second to think of how weird that is is normal. That is what's average. And if you feel like that, if this is what you experience, you wake up tired and you go to bed awake, honestly, shame on you. Like, you have prioritized the wrong things completely. I think sleep is one of those things that if you are not prioritizing, it's your own loss. Everything that you can think of that is like a downside to humans, a lack of sleep will do. Everything that you can think of which is like a positive for humans, good sleep will do. And we can even go far to say like good sleep will literally make you more attractive, will make you more money. Bad sleep will literally make you more ugly and it will make you poorer. It will make you less educated. Everything you can think of. Your brain power is just going to be worse if you're not prioritizing your sleep. So honestly, shame on you. If you wake up tired and you go to sleep like awake and you're kind of annoyed that you're so awake at nighttime, that's because you have not put in enough effort into your sleep. If you're watching my channel, you're into self-improvement, you're trying to better your life, this is where you start. This is where you start. You have to prioritize sleep. I feel like the majority of people who are having bad sleep are ones who do not exercise. You must be tired when you go to bed. It should be obvious. Like, you've just done a hard day's work, right? So you should be tired. But a hard day's work doesn't just mean you went to your full-time job and then came home and watched Netflix for like 3 hours before bedtime. It means you went to your job, came home, exercised for an hour, and then watched Netflix for like 1.5 hours. And watch how nicely you'll fall asleep then. You'll be grateful to rest your shoulders on your bed. When your muscles are sore, your bed, even the most uncomfortable bed, feels like a cloud. It feels so nice to rest your sore shoulders and your chest and your back on a bed, just on anything. It just feels nice to lie down after you've just worked your body out. And if you feel wide awake when you're going to sleep and you're not even tired, that means that you haven't done enough for yourself. And even you might feel like you've done so much, you've been to school and you came home and you did an extra hour of homework and maybe you even exercised enough, but it honestly is probably not enough compared to your own capabilities. You should be tired when you lie down at the end of a whole day. If you're not, just don't take this as an insult, but I think even take this as a compliment. That means that you can do more. And maybe you don't want to do more, but you've got the capacity to do more because you still had energy at the end of the day. You go to sleep at the end of the day when you have no energy to refresh, recharge your energy. If at your bedtime, 10 p.m., you don't need to recharge your energy and you still feel wide awake and you've got some energy, then clearly you didn't expend all your energy in the day. It's common sense, but a lot of people just don't put the links together. So here is the practical advice. If you're having poor sleep right now and you find it difficult to get to sleep fast enough, implement these things. Number 1, use the nightlight filter on your devices that you use before going to sleep, and make sure you set this so that it comes on at least 2 to 3 hours before your bedtime. Number 2, extend your bedtime. Make your bedtime longer. If you only set aside 8 hours for bedtime, you will not get 8 hours of sleep. You want 8 hours of sleep? Set aside 9 hours for bedtime. Yes, that means you need to go to sleep earlier. And then everyone will say, wait, but I can't go to sleep earlier, I'm not tired. Okay, you're not tired when you go to sleep and you're tired when you wake up. Do things in the day that make you tired. Right now, whatever you're doing is not working right, so you have to do something new. So stop having the same day as always. Stop being sat down for 3 hours before bedtime or 6 hours before bedtime just watching your screen with all the blue light hitting your face, and instead exercise, tire your body out. When you finally lie down, you should feel good about lying down. You should literally want to lie down at about 9 p.m. If your body's tired, you will do. And that also goes for your mind. If your mind is tired and you've done a good amount of work and you feel like strenuous and a bit stressed, you'll fall asleep easier. That's about it. I think there's 3 things that I do that most other people who ask me for advice on sleep don't do. So now I'm going to have both of my playlists, physical health and mental health. Both of these have got knowledge that will help you sleep better. Physical health will tire you out physically more, and better mental health will of course help you in literally all of life. But when you've got better mental health and less thoughts, and you're not daydreaming and you're not deep in thought about something important, you're obviously going to sleep better. So you can get more knowledge from these. That's it. That's how I fall asleep in 11 minutes on average. Take care. Alright, I actually have 2 more bonus techniques to improve your sleeping, to fall asleep faster. I actually forgot to mention these because of how normal they have become in my life. It's just become a normal part of my night routine that I completely just forgot that this isn't something that most other people do. I remember reading a study a while ago. I'm probably not going to bother trying to find it, so just try and trust me, or at least try this for yourself. Essentially, the tactic was to journal just before going to bed. They experimented the different types of journaling to see what would help you fall asleep faster or have better sleep. And the one type of journaling that did help wasn't gratitude journaling or deep journaling. It was simply a checkbox. It was simply a to-do list. So it was literally just planning the things to do tomorrow. And so I did this for about a year straight using my iPhone on just the basic notes app. You can add like a little circle, check, whatever it is. And I would literally just have it as wake up, go to the toilet, check my weight, go to the gym, everything that I wanted to do step by step by step by step by step. Go to university, do my lecture, do this extra work, do this, go and meet someone, eat this food, everything that you could think of. When you do it step by step like that, you essentially take those thoughts out of your mind. At least for me, what I found was that when you have that on paper or just written out on your phone, then that stuff, that plan, that to-do list is not in your head. And that's actually very powerful, because I think for most people who are planning their day out, they would probably do it when they're going to sleep. So they're planning what to do tomorrow, when they're going to wake up, what they're going to do first thing. Oh, I need to go and speak to someone. I need to send that email. I need to read that letter. I need to do this and that. If that's in your head, it's going to stop you from falling asleep. So write it down, and then it's out of your head in paper, and you know that you just do not have to think about those things anymore. So that was technique number 1. So I used that technique for a very long time. And now there's one other thing that I have done since, I don't even know, I had this video edited and uploaded, ready to be uploaded on Friday. So that is literally today. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to take off the uploaded version. It's private right now. I'm going to take it off and upload this technique as well, because this is something I've been doing since I was probably about 10, 11 years old. And it is the quickest, most reliable way to fall asleep. When you're going to sleep, when you're in bed lying down, probably one of the best questions to ask is, what should I be thinking about? Because there are definitely some things that if you think about them, you will fall asleep faster. And there's a lot of things that if you think about them, you will fall asleep slower. So the things, in my opinion, that will make you fall asleep slower is things like relationships, work, the to-do list, what you have to do tomorrow, because then you have to think about these things. The best thing to think about when going to sleep is fantasy. It's to think about something that is not real. So this works so well for me because, as I've said in my previous videos, I was very addicted to video games. So I am being completely honest, for around all of my teenage years, I went to bed every single night with this thought in my mind. Okay, what I'm going to do next on which game I was playing, what I was going to do next on RuneScape, on Minecraft, on League of Legends is... That's it. Then I would think, okay, so what I'm going to do next on RuneScape is I'm going to do this quest because I want to unlock this sword, and then I want to be able to fight this person, and I want to be able to get this level. What I want to do on Minecraft is, we were on this server and I'm pretty sure I killed someone and I got his diamond armor. Or what I'm going to do next on League of Legends is try and get to gold 5 rank. I might play with Lee Sin, I might play with Malphite. Thinking about fantasy means that you're not thinking about real life, and fantasy makes you fall asleep easier than sleeping pills. And in fact, I've just stole that line. I remember reading, I think it was a comment on Reddit or something like that. It was completely random, but someone literally just commented saying that reading a fantasy fiction book just before bedtime was better than sleeping pills. It makes sense. I think if you're watching my channel, you're into self-improvement. You probably are also into self-improvement books, and I am as well. And I think those are the wrong ones to be reading at nighttime. So I haven't tried this already because the fantasy game thing works for me. And you know what's interesting? This is kind of off topic, but it was not too long ago, maybe about 2 weeks ago. I haven't played any of these games for years, and I literally just wanted to experiment. I went to bed and I thought, okay, what I'm gonna do next on RuneScape is, and I started remembering what was my old account like, what level did I have, and okay, if I was really playing this game, what would I do next? I fell asleep instantly. I don't remember the rest of the thought pattern because I must have fallen asleep within just 3 minutes of trying this. So try that for yourself. There's 2 extra tactics there for you as a bonus. Make a checklist, to-do list journal for tomorrow. Get all of those thoughts out. What do you need to do tomorrow? Even the smallest things, get them out, because then you don't need to think about it when you're going to sleep. And secondly, think, what your thoughts are. Think about fantasy. For me, it was video games. What I'm going to do next on the video game I was playing. For you, it could be reading Game of Thrones before you go to bed and then just thinking about the story, what you've just read. That's actually a fantastic idea. Read or visualize something that's just not about real life, because real life is pretty stressful and real life does keep you awake, but fantasy lets you like fall into the dream world perfectly. So there's the extra few tips. I hope all of these tips I've gave can benefit your sleep, because it is, as I've said, pretty much one of the most important factors that we have. Good sleep will improve every part of your life. So try and implement these techniques. Take care.